African traditional religion is the way the African people practice their own worship of what they understand as the divine being. It is what modern day dictionary has defined as animism. African traditional religion is animism, even more than paganism. These words are just words that we have come to lose their meaning, hence we have come to feel that they are degraded. They are words that degrade our practice. They are not words that degrade our practice. They are words that even eventually, adds color, adds history, adds a very rich history to our practice. Now, what is animism? Animism is basically the belief that the spirit, that all of life has spirit, even the stone, even there is no, in the African traditional religion, there is no inanimate object. All objects are animated by spirit, animated by divine spirit, and this divine spirit is God. That is why you can see an African traditionalist praying to a stone, just like Christians go to the mountains, and you call it idol worship. It is because he believes that that element of that stone in that particular location is carrying an aspect of God within it. As we go further, I will explain deeper what these things mean. An aspect of God within it to solve a particular issue at that particular time. And that is why he is facing that stone, or probably facing the water, or probably facing the forest, or and so forth and so on. But the African traditional religion has always been around nature, because African traditionalists believe that God is nature. All objects are animated by that element, by some energy of God residing within it. The African traditionalist goes close to these elements of this, or these parts of nature, to commune with God, that aspect of God that is resident in that aspect of nature. Because God in his entirety, God in his fullness is so magnanimous for any human being, for any religion to fully comprehend. So what we do is that what African traditionalists have done over the years, thousands of years, is that they have gone to that aspect of nature that they have felt that presence of God more often. Now, in my part of Africa, of Nigeria, where I come from, most times we will face the water when we are praying to God, when we want to commune with God and with all of life, we face the water. Now, people say we worship the water. You could say that, but it is not correct, because we do not worship the water. We worship that power of God that is resident in the water. Now, even if you go to the Bible, as we will be touching some elements of the Bible from time to time, because most of our audience are more conversant with some of these scriptures. So to explain our ideologies, we may have to touch one or two of these places. Now, the Bible says in Genesis that the Spirit of God hovered around the water before creation. The Spirit of God had to descend into the waters. You see, and the Spirit of God hovered around the waters. So, if you notice, even from the Christian Bible recognizes the water as the oldest element, which, when God came to earth to perform creation, had to first reside on the water, first hover around the water. And if going forward, you will notice that even during the baptism of Jesus Christ, he was instructed to go to the water and get baptized, meaning that that element of the water must agree for whatever mission that you have come to do on earth. And these are mysteries that some of our people have come to understand, that instead of average religion will just give you directive, go to the water, go to the this, we explain why we have to do these things. Water is the oldest element. Even man by nature is about 70% water. Scientists have proven all that all these elements came together to create man. Within us, we have the earth. When we are decomposed, we go back to the earth, we become dust, we become sand, we become water. Everything goes back to that part of element that God picked originally from the beginning to bring together to become man. So man becomes the microcosm of the macrocosm. God is the macrocosm. The universe is the macrocosm. That which we cannot fully comprehend is the macrocosm. We are the microcosm. We are that part of that unexplainable part of God that can be a little bit explained. That is human, that is the man, that is the human being that we are today. We are that part of that unexplainable reality that can now become explained to a certain level because we have become micro. We are no longer part of that macro. Although, as our soul advances and through spiritual practice, through good deeds and all that kind of thing, which we will be discussing in other episodes, man goes back, or man becomes, realizes that he is now part of God, and it's easy for him to now get spiritual liberation and unite with God at the end of the day. So basically, my people, you can now see that what we are doing are knowledge based. Unfortunately, over time, the African traditional religion has lacked documentation. We have been relying more on oral tradition. But luckily, now we have books that are coming up all over the places. I too myself, I have written a few. This is the African Traditional Religion. Yes, it's a book I wrote as an introduction to African traditional practice. I also wrote the Egbesu Reviver. These books talk about African traditional religion, sets you on a path of knowledge to what African traditional religion really means. Most of our discussions will begin from some of the topics in this book, which the one we are even discussing today is from this book. And so we are going to be stopping here today, and hopefully on the coming episodes we are going to be discussing on more deeper topics. If you enjoy the video, if you enjoy the topic, and you want to learn more about African traditional religion, African New Thought, and spirituality in general, you can like and share this video. My name is Ellington Bakumo, the spiritual director of the New Thought African Traditional Spirituality, and your guide on this journey throughout. Thank you, and God bless you.